Hello, my name is Joseph Espinoza, and in today's video I'm going to break down some of the enemy's combat behavior in Koname's Silent Hill Homecoming developed by Double Helix Games. This enemy encountered is a nurse-looking type monster wielding a knife. The nurse attempts to rush the player at first on its forward access. When the player inputs the dodge against the nurse's first attack, the nurse does not react for a moment. This is not always true when the player dodges her attacks. The nurse will quickly turn on its Y-axis to face the player and continues an assault of quick horizontal attacks. In between these quick attacks, the nurse will attempt a heavy vertical slash attack. When the nurse is attacked in a sequence, this pauses her for a moment with a flinching animation. The nurse can attack faster than the player can attack again. The nurse was defeated by the combat knife by a total of 9 attacks, with one of those attacks being a heavy attack. After a while, it was discovered that the nurse will attempt to rush the player with an endless amount of quick attacks in a horizontal slash until it makes contact with the player, making it hard for the player to attack with a heavier weapon. This can cause the player to get stuck between the attacks and a wall structure, causing frustration. The best weapon I discovered to use against this enemy type is the combat knife. The dog-looking monster was fast to approach the player. This enemy will attack the player in a thrust motion, slightly backing up, then attacking again, creating an opportunity for the player to make a counterattack. The dog will also sometimes circle around the player before attacking. The dog can be staggered or floored by 2 quick attacks and 1 heavy attack from the pipe item, then defeated with a kill animation when the player pressed the heavy attack button while the dog was on the floor. The next enemy is a spider-looking monster with 2 legs replaced with a giant sharp knife. The spider is able to block attacks from the player if the player attacks the spider's front. This enemy attacks are different depending on the leg it's attacking with. The spider's right leg will attack in a horizontal slash. The player is able to dodge this attack when dodging in the direction of the right leg, which will be the player's left. The spider's left leg is a knockback forward thrust attack, which will knock the player on the floor. If the player is on the floor for too long without getting up, the enemy will attempt a kill attack with both legs slashing vertically downward motion. The spider is vulnerable after the player dodges in the correct way, leaving an opening for an attack. If the player is slightly to the left or right of the enemy, the spider will attempt an attack in that direction before rotating to face the player. The kill attack will not be attempted by the spider if the player is able to get up from the floor too quickly. After suffering a certain amount of attacks, the spider will be staggered or floored, which leaves it vulnerable to be finished off with a heavy attack or kill animation. This humanoid smoky type enemy attacks with a black toxic smoke. The smoke seems to be effective from the enemy's forward. The enemy has a clear weakness in the chest area that is only open while it attacks. Although physical attacks will cause it to flinch and deals damage, the damage dealt to the enemy is low unless hit in its weak spot. The black smoke will cause the player to stagger or be stunned for a small amount of time. If the player is very close to the enemy, they will attempt a knockback attack with his chest. This enemy moves very slow when moving towards the player and attacking. If the player is not in the enemy's forward, the enemy will attempt an attack with the black smoke that surrounds the enemy for a small amount of time. Later on, it was discovered that a ranged weapon is able to defeat the enemy with 2 shots to the weak spot. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I really enjoyed inspecting and breaking down the AI combat behavior. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in my next video.